Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So lots to talk about in this current video today. The first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Real Madrid's Gareth Bale. Now reportedly Zinedine Zidane has come out and he has admitted that Gareth Bale is no longer in his Real Madrid plans, and he has publicly come out and declared that Gareth Bale has no future at Real Madrid. So it's been bluntly made clear that there is now no relationship, between Zinedine Zidane and Gareth Bale. And there has been reports coming out from Spain that he will not probably be at Real Madrid next season. Gareth Bale. So we do know Gareth Bale has got 3 years left on his contract. We do know he's on a massive wages, of course. So it's likely if Real Madrid get rid of him, he will be allowed to leave on the free, based on his astronomical wages. So as I said, we do know he's been on Manchester United's agenda, for some time. He has been linked to a move to Old Trafford since 2013 as Gareth Bale. But as I did say, I wouldn't want to recommend Gareth Bale to come in. There won't be many teams that can afford Gareth Bale. Looking at his substantial wages, but probably Manchester United would be one of the teams that probably could afford Gareth Bale. But I don't want him. He's aging up now. He's 29 years of age, nearly 30 years of age. Of course, he's injury prone. Is Gareth Bale. If you'd have asked me maybe a year or two ago if I'd have took Gareth Bale, I'd have probably took your hand off. But potentially he's been really bad in his last couple of seasons with Real Madrid as Gareth Bale, but there is now no relationship between Bale and Zinedine Zidane. Obviously Real Madrid suffered a 2-0 defeat to Real Betis in their final game of the season. Obviously Gareth Bale didn't get his farewell appearance. He was named on the bench, but he was currently an unused substitute, was currently Gareth Bale. So we do know in Gareth Bale's 6 years at Real Madrid, he has won 4 Champions Leagues, he has won the La Liga, and he has won the Copa del Rey. Obviously Real Madrid paid £85 million from Tottenham, back in 2013, of course. So these being possible talks, that he could make a return back to the Premier League, could Gareth Bale, because obviously when he was younger, he did have 6 good years with Tottenham, did Bale. So potentially there has been talks that Man United are in for him. There has been talks that he could make a return back to Tottenham. So I think maybe Real Madrid are considering, loaning Gareth Bale out, because I think it's going to be hard for them to get rid of him permanently, as I said, based on his astronomical wages. And obviously, Manchester United would probably, see him as a replacement for Alexis Sanchez. But as I did say, I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United, too injury prone. He's aging up now, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made it clear about our transfer strategy this summer. He's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. He wants to bring a number of young players in, that can grow, develop, and emulate into superstars, of course. But I think we're one of the teams, that can afford Gareth Bale. Obviously, if Real Madrid were to sanction him off permanently, they wouldn't recoup the initial £85 million. They did pay for him from Tottenham, back in 2013. But they could still maybe get around 50 or 60 million pounds of Bale. But I think they are willing to let him go on a free, and they are willing to loan Gareth Bale out. So there has been talks that he could, make a return back to Tottenham. He could come to Manchester United, could Gareth Bale. But I don't know if he's intended on leaving Real Madrid, Gareth Bale, because reports said before that he was happy with Real Madrid. But I think Real Madrid, at least in the last couple of seasons, have wanted him out for a long time. Obviously as well, Real Madrid had lost Cristiano Ronaldo last summer, so they wanted, Bale, to step up to the plate, and he has failed to do that as Gareth Bale. But he has sustained a lot of injuries during his time with Real Madrid. So this is another main factor reason why I don't want him at Manchester United, because he's injury prone. Another reason why I don't want him, because he's currently aging up, is Gareth Bale. But I can't remember how much wages he's on. Is he on about 350 grand a week or something like that, Gareth Bale? But he is on a hell of a lot of money, is Gareth Bale. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about that going on. So Zinedine Zidane has potentially confirmed he's no longer in his plan. He's no longer in his plans, with Real Madrid, and he's declared that he has no future at the club, does Gareth Bale. So it's likely he will not be at Real Madrid next season. So he may be playing his trade next season in the Premier League, of course. So he could be making a return to the Premier League, could Gareth Bale. So there has been a lot of talks about that going on. But talking about Alexis Sanchez, of course, it's looking like Manchester United are going to get rid of Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, he is one of our problematic players. But again, based on his astronomical wages, we can't get rid of Alexis Sanchez permanently. Obviously, the likes of Inter Milan and Juventus have expressed their interest in him, so it will be likely that Sanchez will be playing his trade next season with Inter Milan or Juventus. Obviously, he did say Man United are willing to let him go on a long-season loan deal with either Inter Milan or Juventus, and Man United are willing to pay half of his current wages off. And he's on around 400 grand a week, Mr. Sanchez, rising up to £500,000 based on image rights, and I think on like bonuses and stuff. I think it rises up to about 500 grand a week. But as I did say, his wages are having a really bad effect on the club, and he's the highest paid player at the club. He's the highest paid player in the Premier League, and obviously, he hasn't exceeded expectation levels, Sanchez, since he's come in. He's only been here about 16 months. He's become injury prone as well, Sanchez, since he's come in. He's only been here, as I just said, 16 months, Sanchez, but he hasn't exceeded expectation levels, as I thought he basically would have done. Reflecting back what he did at Arsenal. Obviously, he played under Pep Guardiola, of course, when he was younger at Barcelona, did Alexis Sanchez, but again, he has no future at the club. He's 30 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace. So a lot of Manchester United fans would say, Gareth Bale would be the replacement for Alexis Sanchez, but I don't think he'd be a good replacement for Alexis Sanchez, because I classify Gareth Bale as the Welsh Alexis Sanchez in my current opinion. And so I wouldn't want Bale at Manchester United, but there has been a lot of talks about it going on. But it did potentially say that they are willing, to let Gareth Bale go on a free transfer. Of course, I think, or something like that. So I think Real Madrid may have to currently loan him out. But talking about Sanchez, as I said, Inter Milan and Juventus have been in negotiations over Alexis Sanchez's agent. Obviously, Sanchez's agent had been currently in Italy, of course. So I do believe he'll be either going to Inter Milan or Juventus. He'll be one of them, because both teams are fighting out for him. And I think that Sanchez has agreed to currently take a pay cut, but he is one of the problematic players. We do know mainly he hasn't been first choice under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but when he has been given the opportunity, he has been a disappointment as Alexis Sanchez, and obviously hasn't met them expectation levels as we thought he would have done. And I thought he'd have been a fundamental player for us, but he's just been so inconsistent out at the moment with an ankle injury, Alexis Sanchez. So yeah, looking likely, he's going to be leaving the club, which is very good. But we are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out. I think up to at least 5 players could go this summer. Obviously, we need a massive overhaul this summer. Of course, want to bring at least 5 players in, want to get rid of at least 5 players. But obviously, all the players we do want to leave, we're not going to be able to resolve this in one window. It's going to take us a couple of windows, to address that problem out. We're getting around £250 million to spend this summer. That should be enough to get around like 5 players in. And obviously, we're cashing for Pogba, we're cashing for Lukaku. That'll take it up to about over £450 million, because we could get 200 million plus for Lukaku and Paul Pogba, of course, and it will help us with our transition, and it will help us, of course, with our rebuilding process. It's going to be difficult for us to attract players to elite level, because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season, but Solskjaer, still believes we can attract players to the highest level, of course. But at the moment, City is strides ahead of us, Liverpool, of course, strides ahead of us, and I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is going to be currently that top 4. But you can see the deficiencies in the squad, and you can identify the areas where Manchester United are lacking, and we've got to resolve these problems in the summer. And I think on that left-hand side, we're really okay, and I don't think we really need to bolster up on that current left-hand side. And I think it's other areas of the squad we need to bolster up at. Prime example, we need a right back, we need a central defender, we maybe even need 2 central defenders. We need 2 additions in that midfield, and we definitely do currently need a right winner. But yeah, as I said about Bale, I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. As I said, he's injury prone, he's aging up. Of course, you'd have asked me even 2 years ago, I probably would have took Gareth Bale, but the rumours have continued to persist since like 2013. That he has been linked with a move to Manchester United as Gareth Bale, but he's endured a difficult couple of seasons with Real Madrid as Gareth Bale, and obviously now Zinedine Zidane has made it clear he wants him out of Real Madrid, and it's abundantly clear there is no relationship now between Zinedine Zidane and Gareth Bale. But I think Real Madrid are willing to let him go on the free, so I think they're willing to currently loan him out, and he could be making a return to Tottenham. He could be coming to Manchester United, but I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United, and I do believe that is currently on the decline. Is Gareth Bale. Other news to give you an update on in regards to Jadon Sancho, as you all know, because for a long time, guys, obviously, Jadon Sancho was the club's number 1 priority target. Obviously, he's a really good player, Jadon Sancho, and I think, if he was to if he was to make a return to the Premier League, it would help him, with his developing process, and I think it would create him a better platform for Jadon Sancho. But I think the main factor reason why we're not getting Jadon Sancho, because obviously, we failed to get in the Champions League for next season. Obviously, Jadon Sancho, from his own perspective, perspective, has confirmed that he's intending on spending at least one more season with Borussia Dortmund. So he's reluctant to leave Borussia Dortmund this summer. Is Jadon Sancho, and I think Borussia Dortmund themselves have made it clear that they're convinced that Jadon Sancho will be at Dortmund for next season. But Jadon Sancho is one of England's hottest prospects, of course, only 19 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him, but it's looking likely he will continue playing his trade with Borussia Dortmund next season. Will Jadon Sancho, but I do really like him. Primarily plays a winner. You can put him centrally, Jadon Sancho, but I think it'd have been a fantastic solution for Manchester United. With Jadon Sancho, he can score goals, he can provide, he can play between the byline, he can put crosses into the box, and he's got absolutely a fantastic immense talent. And I do believe he's got all the attributes, to come and succeed in the Premier League. And if he was to make a return back to the Premier League, that would be that would take his career to the next level. I do believe he has got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. As Jadon Sancho, obviously he's a former Manchester City player, but he never really got the opportunity at Manchester City, and this is one of the main factor reasons why I left City, and of course I went to Borussia Dortmund. And Man United were willing to pay his £100 million valuation, because obviously we've got the financial power to meet that valuation. So Man United were willing to pay up to the £100 million for him. We do know that's a lot of money for a young player, and maybe some people are saying we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, not spend too much money on one player, because we are aware that there's quite a few players out there for a reasonable figure. But yeah, Man United were willing to pay the £100 million for currently Jadon Sancho. So yeah, he was the club's number one priority target for a very, very long time. Dad, what are you doing? Oh yeah. He was the club's number one priority target for a very long time, was Jadon Sancho, but Borussia Dortmund only paid around, was it £7-8 million for him from Manchester City a couple of seasons ago, but looks like we've missed out on currently Jadon Sancho now, and that's very, very disappointing, of course, and yeah, so he's going to be staying at Borussia Dortmund, as that's currently confirmed. As I did give you an update in regards to Nicolas Pepe yesterday, he's a potential Manchester United target, as reports have been coming out, at least in the last 3 or 4 days. I have been hearing that he has attracted interest from the likes of my club, Man United. Arsenal have been linked to him. Liverpool have been interested in him. Also, it did say Bayern Munich have been interested in him. And quite a lot of other teams have been interested in this current player. It came out yesterday that the Lille boss had confirmed that Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving Lille this summer. I think he's rated at around £69 million or something like that. I think it did say Man United were eyeing around a £45 million move for Nicolas Pepe. And yeah, but it did confirm yesterday that the Lille boss has confirmed that Nicolas Pepe is going to be departing Lille. He's been at Lille a couple of seasons. So far, he has spent the entirety of his career in France with Lille as Nicolas Pepe. But I think if he comes to the Premier League, that would be the next step for him. So I think it did say the teams that have been interested: Liverpool, Bayern Munich, PSG, Arsenal. I think it also mentioned Real Madrid. So there has been quite a few teams in there for him. Only 23 years of age, but you've got to look at it. He's the obvious candidate for that right wing, because he's primarily a winner. Is Nicolas Pepe. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him, going on, but full of goals, full of assists. Got immense talent as his current player. So yeah, he could be possibly playing his trade in the Premier League next season. Could Nicolas Pepe. But Arsenal, I think, have been linked to him at least in the last couple of months. But yeah, I think he would be fantastic for Manchester United. But looking that we haven't got Champions League football, it's going to be hard for us to attract a player, to his current calibre, of course. But yeah, confirmed he's going to be leaving Lille, which is very, very good news. And talking about Wan-Bissaka, obviously reports came out yesterday about him saying that Crystal Palace demanding that they want around £60 million for him. I think he's, probably regarded as the best right back in the Premier League. Wan-Bissaka, only 21 years of age. One of England's youngest, hottest prospects is Wan-Bissaka. Crystal Palace want around £60 million, as you all know. Obviously, he has been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time now, because obviously... Obviously, we do need a right back, someone to replace Valencia. We do need an upgrade to Ashley Young, and we do need a covered up for Diego Dalot. And I do believe Wan-Bissaka, would be the right solution. Obviously, so far, he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Obviously, I think he only broke into their senior squad last year in February. So he's been in their senior squad since February 2018. Initially, when he was a lot younger, he was actually a winger, and then he actually reverted to a fullback, did Wan-Bissaka. But yeah, only 21 years of age. still got 3 years left on his contract as Wan-Bissaka. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him, currently going on. But yeah, Crystal Palace want around £60 million for him. But yeah, I'd love him to come to Manchester United, because I do believe he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next in the next 2 to 3 years, of course. But yeah, he's been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time. And as we all currently know, we're looking for some new additions in that midfield, as you all know. Obviously, we do need a replacement for Pogba. We do need a replacement for Ander Herrera, of course. And obviously, in regards to Paul Pogba, of course, obviously, he's heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. Obviously, it did say, I think his wage demands are set to be lowered, so he can make his move to Real Madrid, because it did say that Paul Pogba's wage demands, his 30 million a year wage demands do not fit the wage structure of Real Madrid. And it did say Real Madrid were not willing to meet that. Potentially, it did say Real Madrid were not willing to meet his £290,000 a week wages, so it did say Paul Pogba would have to take some kind of pay cut. I think Manchester United don't want to lose him, but I think if we're willing to do any business, we want around £160 million of Paul Pogba. Real Madrid are reluctant to pay up to £160 million of Paul Pogba, but he's still one of the best midfielders in the world when when he's playing in the right vein and manner. And I've analysed his performances, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, and we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba in that 3-month period, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. Mainly when we saw the best out of Paul Pogba is when Ander Herrera was playing. So that just emphasises how much of That just emphasises how much of an impact, Ander Herrera, currently made when he was here, because he freed up the likes of Paul Pogba, and that's when Pogba expressed himself. He was scoring goals, and he was currently provided. But at least in Paul Pogba's last 7 or 8 games, his performances have been way below par, and that just emphasises that he doesn't want to be at the club anymore, Paul Pogba. But maybe one of the main reasons why Pogba wants to leave, because obviously maybe he plays for his calibre, wants to be playing to the highest level, wants to be up there competing, wants to be up there winning silverware, of course. And as you all know, Manchester United have a number of years off currently doing this. So maybe he wants to go to Madrid, to maybe, be up there challenging and winning trophies and that, and maybe playing amongst better players. And of course, he isn't getting this at Manchester United. And obviously, we paid big money for Paul Pogba. We paid £89 million for him. And Manchester United have got an history of spending big on players. Like prime example, Lukaku 75 million. Pogba £89 million pounds. So yeah, he's been at Manchester United now 3 years as Paul Pogba, of course, and he's still got 3 years left on his contract. And I think the club have been in negotiations to try to get him a new contract, but obviously he's made it clear, he's bluntly made it clear that he does currently want to leave Manchester United. But we do know his agent Raiola, at least in the last couple of weeks, has been in the process of finding Paul Pogba a new club. Obviously a while back, Man United were willing to offer him the captain's armband, to convince him, to stay at the club on a permanent basis, to convince him to stay at the club. We're willing to give him the captain's armband on a permanent basis, of course, Paul Pogba. But he's still 26 years of age. He is in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Paul Pogba. And obviously last year was linked to a move away from Manchester United, obviously based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, he was linked to his former club Juventus. He was linked to a move to Barcelona where was Paul Pogba. But as I did say, it's going to be hard to find, a player of Paul Pogba's, calibre. But if we can get around £130 million for him, we could get 2 players with that money, of course. And as I did say, it will help us with our rebuilding process. And I think, his future hasn't been fully clarified as yet. And I think he has been holding up our transfers as Paul Pogba. But I think we're waiting for his future to be clarified. Before we reportedly going to make a move for Lyon's Tanguy Ndombele. That got reported in the Metro the other day. Tanguy Ndombele is very, very young. He's only 22 years of age. I think it did say Tottenham are the leading contenders, to get his signature. He said PSG had been interested in him. He also said that Juventus had been interested in Tanguy Ndombele. But yeah, a very, very good compassive midfielder. Breaks up the play very, very well. I think he's primarily a central midfielder, is Tanguy Ndombele. So he has been on Manchester United's agenda. I think he's rated at around 87 or 88 million pounds reportedly, this player. So yeah, Manchester United have been interesting, but we've denied making a move for him until we saw the situation out regarding Paul Pogba. But as I did currently say, guys, I do believe, Bruno Fernandes, would be the right replacement for Paul Pogba, because I really, really like Bruno Fernandes. Think he's a really, really good player. Manchester United have, he's been on Manchester United's agenda at least for the last couple of months. Man United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye out on him, and he's tied it up very, very well in Portugal. And I do believe if he came to the Premier League, Bruno Fernandes, I think he'd have the attributes and the capabilities, to come and succeed in the Premier League, with Bruno Fernandes. And I do believe that would be the next level for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, the likes of United and City have been in for him. Obviously, a player of Bruno Fernandes' calibre, the more attractive option, would be Manchester City for Bruno Fernandes, but definitely, Manchester United are still in there for him. Reportedly, Sporting Lisbon want around £60 million for him. Want around £60 million for him. His initial release clause is around £85 or £86 million. He's primarily an attacking midfielder, and this is why I said we'd see him as a good replacement of Paul Pogba. But we do need creativeness in that midfield. Someone who can score goals from that midfield, and I do believe that Bruno Fernandes, would be the right solution. He's only 24 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him, of course. And reports came out, reflecting back a couple of weeks ago, reports came out saying that Manchester City, he were looking, or City were going to get a deal over the line for him. It did say City were in talks with Sporting Lisbon over the deal worth around £47 million for Bruno Fernandes, and it did say City were willing to offer one or two of their players as part of the deal. And then this, allegedly, then it said City adopted him out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. So looking at that give Manchester United advantage, to go in for him. But I do really like him. And I do believe he'd blend in very well in our midfield. Obviously, I think he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons now, but he's got goals in him, he's got assists in him. Had a lot of experience of playing in Italy when he was younger, with Sampdoria and underneath. And he's got a contract now with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. So I do really like him indeed. As you all do know, I'll give you an update yesterday in regards to Benfica's Joao Felix. Now, it did reportedly say that Manchester United, we have stepped our interest up in Joao Felix. It did say now Manchester United are preparing to put a bid in of around £100 million for Joao Felix. Man United yet again instructed scouts, to keep a close eye out on him, at the weekend. And, Man United scouts have been watching him on a regular basis, reflecting on his impressive performances throughout the course of this season with Benfica. Has not yet made his senior debut for Portugal, but I think this has only been his first season in the senior squad with Benfica. Only 19 years of age. He would be the right solution for Manchester United again. Primarily an attacking midfielder, but can play as a winner, can play as a striker. So he's versatile as Joao Felix. I think he's attracted interest, from quite a few clubs, Joao Felix. But I do believe if he came to the Premier League, it would be the next level for Joao Felix. And I do believe, he can become one of the best players in the world, can Joao Felix. I don't think he'd emulate into like Cristiano Ronaldo or relying on Messi, Joao Felix. But I still believe, he can become one of the best in the world, and this is why Manchester United we have expressed our interest in the player. But only 19 years of age, has gained some experience, of course, and but there has been quite a few teams in for him. And obviously reports were coming out about this, back in January, that there was a few teams after Joao Felix. But I'd love both of them. I'd love Bruno Fernandes, I'd love Joao Felix. Obviously they're both Portuguese, of course, but they've both done very well in Portugal. And obviously Bruno Fernandes is obviously more experienced than Joao Felix, because obviously Bruno Fernandes is 24, Joao Felix is only 19. But as I said on my video yesterday, I don't see Manchester United getting a deal over the line for both both of them. We might get one of them, but I don't see us getting both of them, to be quite honest with you. It did say it would cost Manchester United around £150 million, for the Portuguese duo. That's how much it would cost, for Joao Felix and Bruno Fernandes. But Manchester United now we have stepped our interest up in Joao Felix. So I love him at Manchester United, as you all currently know. And talking about other midfielders, I'd love Leicester City's Yuri Tielemans. Obviously now has got Yuri Tielemans has now got a 6-month experience under his belt in the Premier League, because obviously he's on loan at Leicester at the moment. Leicester got him on loan from Monaco. I think Leicester are keen on getting a deal over the line for him, permanently. It has said Arsenal and Tottenham have also been interested in Yuri Tielemans. Only 22 years of age, has got a lot of years ahead of him, Yuri Tielemans. But there has been a lot of talks about him. I think he's primarily a central midfielder. Monaco rate him at around £40 million reportedly. He can score goals, he can provide, and I think he's intending on making the return to Monaco as Yuri Tielemans when his loan spell ends with Leicester. But he has now gained some experience in the Premier League, and he has been very impressive. I think he's got a contract with Monaco until 2022, so there has been a lot of talks about him currently going on. And other news to give you an update on as well. And obviously we know that Manchester United are in search for the central defender, someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, of course, because Victor Lindelof has been very impressive this season. Struggled in his first season, very inconsistent in his first season, but really settled in throughout the course of this season. He's been very good, and I think he's held his line very well. I think his distribution that's improved, but we need someone that can go alongside him. And more news now is updated in regards to Ajax's De Ligt, because we do know that Manchester United have been interested in De Ligt. Also, Liverpool are heavily linked with De Ligt. Obviously, Barcelona, of course, are heavily linked with De Ligt, of course. And, there has been a lot of talks about him going on, because obviously, reflecting back, was it quite a few weeks ago, the CEO of Ajax, obviously, who is Edwin van der Sar, he currently came out and said that it's likely that, De Ligt will depart Ajax this summer. And he did say, Edwin van der Sar, that I think he'll move to England or Spain, so that's where he probably will be applying his trade next season. And for quite, for the last week or 2 weeks, something like that, it has been on the cards that it's going to be likely he's going to be joining Barcelona and De Ligt. But now he did initially say that Barcelona and Ajax had come to an agreement on around a £60 million fee, for De Ligt. So it was looking likely he was going to be joining Barcelona. But now recent reports do say now that now his move to Barcelona has currently stalled. Reportedly, is it something to do with the wage demands, something like that, and something to do with his agent Raiola, of course. And now his move to Barcelona has currently stalled. So now reports are coming out, according to the Spanish journalist, it says now that Liverpool have been in negotiations with De Ligt over the potential summer transfer, of course, to Liverpool. So Liverpool have expressed their interest in him, of course, and obviously Liverpool got Virgil van Dijk for £75 million, and he's addressed their defensive deficiencies very, very well. And obviously Virgil van Dijk and De Ligt know each other very, very well, because obviously they're both Dutch, they're both playing the Netherlands national team, of course. And I think he's initially valued at around £60 million, is De Ligt, but obviously you're not going to get De Ligt on the cheap, of course, because he's done very, very well. Obviously he's had 3 years now worth of experience in the first team. 3 years worth of experience in the first team as De Ligt, and obviously he's spent the entirety of his career so far with Ajax. Obviously became more of a first team starter, when Ajax let Davinson Sanchez go to Tottenham back in 2017. But Liverpool have reportedly been in talks with De Ligt over the summer transfer from Ajax. So I think it also said that Manchester City of course have been in there for him. I really like De Ligt. He's tall as well, which is very, very beneficial. He's only 19 years of age. He's the only defender to win the Golden Boy award. But I think if he was to make the move to the Premier League, or he was to make the move to Spain, that would take his career to the next level. Of course, and Ajax have got a really, really good young squad, as you all know. I think they've got one of the best in the world, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I think De Ligt is likely to leave, and I think he'd address our defensive deficiencies fantastically well, De Ligt, if he was to come in. He's not going to cost you a world. We wouldn't have to break the world transfer record for De Ligt, but he's still going to probably cost you around 65 or 70 million pounds. But Liverpool now have held negotiations over the situation with De Ligt. But as I did currently say, Manchester City obviously now are looking for the replacement of Vincent Kompany, because as you all know now, it has confirmed that Vincent Kompany has left the club after serving 11 years with Manchester City. Obviously now it's confirmed he is the Anderlecht player manager, is he now, Vincent Kompany. So obviously City probably maybe would identify De Ligt as a good replacement of Vincent Kompany. So there's quite a few teams going in for De Ligt. Obviously, as we all know, Barcelona have already got De Ligt's teammate, Frankie de Jong. Obviously Barcelona agreed, was it around a £75 million fee with Ajax last summer for Frankie de Jong. It was a year in advance, so Frankie de Jong set to join Barcelona this summer. So yeah, there's still the rumours do continue to persist about De Ligt, and I think he's going to definitely leave, but we just don't know which team he's currently going to. But Barcelona, I still believe they are the monster, the favourites to get him. But recent reports have currently said he's moved to Barcelona is currently stalled. So yeah, Liverpool are currently in there for him. And as I said, Liverpool are going to invest this summer. Liverpool have had a great season this season. I know they'll probably win the Champions League game, of course, but they'll had a really, really good season. Only losing one game all season. Liverpool, and did really, really well, of course. But they had a good window last summer. They addressed the deficiencies last summer. They got a good goalkeeper and they got a good defender in through Virgil van Dijk. And yeah, so they'll probably look to invest more this summer. So they have attracted their interest in De Ligt. But I don't think Liverpool need a central defender. They've got the likes of Virgil van Dijk there. They've got Joe Gomez there. So I don't think they're in search for a central defender. I think obviously City now need one because Kompany's gone. Obviously, we need one as well. Because we concede far too many goals and we've got issues, defensively, of course. And yeah, a lot of talks about De Ligt going on. Leicester City's Harry Maguire, I'd also, like Leicester City's Harry Maguire to come in because I do really, really like Harry Maguire. Well Premier League proven. I wouldn't put him on the same levels as on the same calibre or levels as the likes of the Koulibaly's or the Rafael Varane's and all that. But I do really, really like him. Mid-20s, 26 years of age. Has still got a lot of years ahead of him. As Harry Maguire. I think he was previously valued at around 70-80 million pounds. I don't think Manchester United, would be intending on breaking the world transfer record for him. But yeah, he's done really, really well. Harry Maguire had He's well Premier League proven now. It's Harry Maguire holds his line very, very well. Very, very tall as well. Very, very good in the air. Harry Maguire, and obviously maybe Harry Maguire wants to be playing to the highest level. And Manchester United have got the financial power to meet his valuation. We've got the financial power, to currently double his wages. But I think Leicester paid around £17 million to him from Hull City. Harry Maguire. So yeah, Man United were actually linked to a Harry Maguire last summer. But reflecting back last summer, our priority was to recommend the centre back to come in. But obviously looking back last summer, the board weren't back in the signings. Jose Mourinho, wanted to recommend to come in to the club, and Jose Mourinho had bad disputes with the board. He had bad disputes with some of the current players as well, and this is why it didn't work out under currently Jose Mourinho. But obviously we know we'd love Bale, to come in. He would be fantastic. I'd love Bale, to currently come to Manchester United. I think now we've identified him as our number one target. Obviously reflecting back, was it last week? There were positive stories coming out in regards to Bale. Saying that Manchester United, we've identified him as our number one target. Obviously, it did probably say we'd have to break the world transfer record, to get a deal over the line of Bale. So it probably cost you around 120 or 130 million pounds. I don't think Manchester United, would be willing to pay up to 120 or 130 million pounds for Bale. Maybe we'd try to convince Napoli to sell him for around maybe 80 or 90 million pounds, Bale. But we haven't had a world class central defender, since we had the likes of Vidic, since we had the likes of Ferdinand. But yeah, Bale would be fantastic. And recently, Carlo Ancelotti, regarded him as one of the best centre backs in the world, and I do believe he's one of the best in the world. Is Bale. I don't think he is the best, but I definitely think he's one of the best. And again, I think he's got all the attributes, to come and succeed in the Premier League. Highly experienced, 27, nearly 28 years of age. Good in the air, holds his line very, very well. His distribution's very, very good, and he's got everything as Bale. And I think he'd be a fantastic leader in our back line. Obviously, Manchester United inquired about getting him last year. Obviously, we started the process under Jose Mourinho of getting Bale. We had 3 bids turned down for Bale last year, of course, and he has had 5 great seasons with Napoli, of course. 5 great seasons, made over 200 appearances in all competitions, got a contract with them until 2023. But yeah, I'd definitely love him to come in. It would be the right solution for Manchester United. And so a lot of central defenders on Manchester United's agenda. Don't think the club are intending on bringing Alderweireld in, because obviously, as it's been bluntly made clear, we're not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. Alderweireld's 30 years of age, and looking at it financially, he's a cheap alternative. It's Toby Alderweireld to the likes of the Rafael Varans or the Koulibalis in that. But as I did say, nowhere near as good. I've got reservations about him now. He has lost that yard of pace. He's had years of experience in the Premier League under his belt, so that would be very, very beneficial. But I don't think we're intending on bringing Toby Alderweireld to Manchester United. But his initial release clause is around £25 million. So yeah, a lot of central defenders on Manchester United's agenda. And talking about, I think Rojo's going to be on his way out of the club, which is very, very good news. Rojo's going. We can cash in for Rojo. I think Darmian's going to be going, so we can cash in for Darmian and Rojo, so we could get around £30 million for them. I do believe probably Eric Bailly, will be going. Eric Bailly's enjoyed difficult time in the last couple of seasons with Manchester United. Obviously, I think his career's been badly affected, with his fallout with other managers, with his injuries he has sustained, and he has become an injury-prone player as Eric Bailly, and initially has lost his place in the team. I want Smalling and Jones to be gone next season, but I don't think they will be. I think they'll be definitely, be both here next season, and it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving Smalling and Jones, new long-term contracts, of course, so that was bad judgment for Manchester United. It was a mistake of, obviously, of us giving Ash Young a new 1-year extension, so that was another mistake. And as I have been updating you in the last couple of days in regards to Fulham's Ryan Sessegnon, now Manchester United have reportedly made initial contact with Fulham over the potential move for Ryan Sessegnon. Now, it did say that Tottenham have been long admirers of him. He has been on Tottenham's agenda for some time. It also said that Juventus have been interested in Ryan Sessegnon. Now, obviously, Ryan Sessegnon has had a year of experience in the Premier League under his belt. Obviously, had it in the Championship the season before. I think Fulham would demand that they want around £40 million for Ryan Sessegnon, because I think it's bluntly been made clear that Ryan Sessegnon wants to leave Fulham, because obviously he's reluctant to spend another season in the Championship. Obviously Fulham are in the Championship next season, because obviously they've been relegated from the Premier League after only spending 1 season in the top flight. Fulham. Ryan Sessegnon is only very, very young. He's only 19 years of age. Obviously so far he's spent the entirety of his career with Fulham, but obviously he's been in the senior squad with them about 3 seasons now. Ryan Sessegnon has made over 100 odd appearances in all competitions for for Fulham. Plays as left back, also can play as a left winger. I think now he's primarily a left winger. Is Ryan Sessegnon. Only got a year left on his deal with Fulham. I think he actually made his senior debut at the age of 16. Did Ryan Sessegnon. Actually became the first player born in the 2000s. To score a goal in the first team game. Ryan Sessegnon. So his stats are very, very impressive, of course. But I think on that left hand side we're okay, and I don't think we really need to bolster up on that left hand side, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I think Tottenham probably will probably be the favourites to currently land Ryan Sessegnon. But maybe Ryan Sessegnon maybe wants now to be playing to the highest level, maybe wants to go to a competitive elite level football club, and obviously he's not going to experience this with Fulham. Is Ryan Sessegnon. But yeah, very, very good player. Only got 1 year left on his current deal with Fulham, but only 19 years of age. But he initially risen up Fulham's youth system for about 8 years. Did currently Ryan Sessegnon, and and I do believe he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. I do really, really like him. I do think he has got immense talent as Ryan Sessegnon, and and I do believe he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. I think Manchester United a couple of times in the past, have been linked with Ryan Sessegnon, but I think Manchester United, we are actually the only team that have made any initial contact with Fulham over a potential move for Ryan Sessegnon. But I think Fulham would demand that they want around maybe 35 or 40 million pounds, because that's what Ryan Sessegnon will be initially valued at. So there has been talks about that. But obviously, it's looking like Daniel James is going to be coming to Manchester United. Obviously, that could be our first sign. This summer. Fulham's not Swansea's Daniel James. Sorry, he is a surprise solution. Looking at he's a low expectation. He is a cheap acquisition. Stories broke out about this, was it the other week, saying that Manchester United were close to agreeing around a £15 million deal. For Daniel James. But the question is, has he got the capabilities? Has he got the attributes, to come and succeed in the Premier League? Daniel James, can he do it? Can he meet expectation levels in the Premier League? Obviously, he hasn't played to the highest level yet, really, because obviously he's a Championship player. But reflecting his performances throughout the course of this season, they have been very, very impressive with Swansea. Obviously, I think he's played about 30 odd games for Swansea this season. Only got a year left on his contract as Daniel James. Obviously, he's attracted interest from the likes of Leeds and Everton, of course. Leeds were on the brink of getting him in January, but the fee, I think the fee had been agreed and all that, but obviously, Swansea had pulled out of the deal right at the final hurdle. But talking about Daniel James, he is primarily a winner. You can put him to the right, but I think he's supposed to be more effective from that left hand side. Is Daniel James, so it hasn't been finalised as yet. But I think we are close to agreeing a deal for Daniel James. So the fee will be around 15-20 million pounds. So if it's 20 million pounds, it would probably 15 million, including add-ons, which will rise it, of course, to 28 million pounds. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about Daniel James going on, but we do need a massive overhaul this summer, of course. And I'm not going to be critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer yet. We've got to give him the time to spend in the summer and then see what happens, going on into currently next season. If the bad run of form continues going into next season, then I will be critical of Solskjaer, and then I will want him out of Manchester United without a shadow of a doubt. And went well when he was interim manager. When he was the interim manager, his first 3 months went really, really well. Them expectation levels were met, the results were good. The performances were really, really good. And I think a lot of the vast majority of Manchester United fans, will probably say now maybe we have given the job too early. Maybe we should have waited until this point to make a decision, whether to give him the job permanently or not. But yeah, give him the summer to spend, see what happens going on into next season. Because as I did say, we haven't got the structure, to keep sacking managers. We've already sacked 3, since Alex Ferguson currently retired. So yeah, let's see what happens, going on into next season. So the main part of this video was to give you an update on in regards to Gareth Bale. So reports do currently say now that Zinedine Zidane has admitted that Gareth Bale is no longer in his plans at Real Madrid, and he's come out and he's publicly declared as Zinedine Zidane that Gareth Bale no longer has a future at Real Madrid. And this is what is currently confirmed. So it's bluntly made clear that there is now no relationship, between Zinedine Zidane and Gareth Bale. I think Real Madrid are willing to maybe, let him go on a free, based on his astronomical wages, of course. And as I said, there won't be many teams that out there that can afford Gareth Bale. I think one of the teams, my club, Manchester United, I think we could afford Gareth Bale. But like I said, I don't want him to come to Manchester United. But there has been talks that Tottenham, he could make a return back to Tottenham. He could come to Manchester United. But we do know the rumours have persisted for many, many years now about Gareth Bale coming to Manchester United. But obviously that it hasn't materialised yet because he's not at Manchester United, is he? And if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, I would have definitely took Gareth Bale, but now he's on the decline, he's aging up, and I don't want him at Manchester United, and that's really it, to be quite honest with you. But obviously, didn't get his farewell appearance, as you all know. Real Madrid lost 2-0 at Real Betis. He was named on the bench, but didn't get his farewell appearance, so it's been made it clear. It's likely that Gareth Bale will not be at Real Madrid next season, so where's his next destination currently going to be? So anyway, guys, that's everything today. Drop your comments there, likes below while I'm on the channel if you do consider a subscriber to the channel. As always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.